An exclusive story that we have, and it is regarding Kingfisher Airlines. And the troubled airline has now reached out to banks once more with a request for working capital. In a fresh letter that it has shot off to banks, Vijay Mallya has asked for funding to keep the airline afloat. Anirudh Ghosh joins us with the exclusive details on that story. Anirudh, take us through what you have.
Certainly, George, as you mentioned, Kingfisher Airlines has in fact asked banks yet again for a further round of funding. They had in fact asked the consortium of banks for about 200 crore rupees in the last meeting that they had. That, of course, was in the second week of February. But of course, sources are telling us at this point of time that only 2 banks out of those 18 banks have come up with some kind of funding, and that only 5 crore rupees have been disbursed to the airline so far. So clearly, despite a fund requirement of about 2,500 crore rupees to keep the airline running, and a diluted request of about 200 crore rupees of working capital to keep the airline running in some sort of form, Vijay Mallya has been able to raise only about 5 crore rupees so far from just 2 banks. Now, we've been speaking to a number of bankers who have been involved in the consortium, and all of them in fact have been telling us that, now that Kingfisher has been classified as an NPA in most of the banks' books, most of them who haven't classified it as an NPA are going to go ahead and classify it as an NPA by the end of this month. So clearly it is a tough time for them. They have in fact reached out again for some kind of working capital funding, but it seems very unlikely that banks are going to go ahead and honor this request either, because a lot of them are saying that they want Kingfisher to come up with some kind of capital, and really there seems to be no way forward from here on until and unless UB Group brings some more capital to the table at this point of time.
Anirudh Ghosh, thanks very much for joining in with those exclusive details on Kingfisher Airlines. So they've asked for 200 crore rupees of working capital in February, but sources indicating that they've only got 5 crores so far from 2 banks. No reaction whatsoever on Kingfisher Airlines as we speak. 16.6 is where it's currently trading at.